We have already had an introduction to the concept of dialogic education in this space. In the current presentation, we will discuss the importance of dialogic education. So the first one is that dialogic education actually leads to the democratization of the educational process. And so education process is no more a top-down structure, no more a one-way traffic, no more dominated by the dominant actors in the process of education, such as the curriculum developers, implementers, or teachers, but the student who are generally considered as the recipient in the process of education become actively involved in the process of not only getting education but also adding to the process the aims and the outcomes of education. Secondly, dialogic education helps in greater mutual understanding and inclusion on the part of the educational stakeholders, including teachers and students. Then enhanced and active student participation as a result of dialogic education leads to ownership of the process of education on the part of students. And so students become actively involved and they think that they are owners in the process of education. This further leads to improved learning outcomes for students because students become active participants in the process of education, and as a result this actually leads to more psychological, emotional, and cognitive involvement on their part that leads to improved learning outcomes. Further, dialogic education helps in better communication skills on the part of the students. This is mainly because of their active involvement, mainly through a dialogue that leads to better communication. So they are not just silent listeners, they are equal speakers, and they can debate and they can challenge whatever are presented to them through the process of education. Next, the concept of dialogic education leads to a greater sense of citizenship and engagement on a more social, bigger level. That is a very useful outcome of the concept of dialogic education. Besides this, dialogic education leads to better insights into the persona of students and teachers. Generally, one of the most important ways in which we as humans know about each other, in which we explore each other's personalities and backgrounds, is through the process of oral communication. So dialogue actually helps us in getting better insights into each other's personas. And so this happens through this in educational contexts as well. Identification of the learning and teaching difficulties. Also, as in dialogue, generally there is more open communication. So teachers are able to identify learners' learning difficulties, and teachers also come to know about their teaching difficulties or the issues that might arise due to their particular teaching styles or teaching pedagogies. Similarly, dialogic education is important because it helps in the development of critical and analytical skills. So the whole educational process, the role of the teacher, the curriculum, the teaching learning strategies inside or outside the classrooms are open to critical analysis, are open to questioning on the part of the students and also on the part of teachers and their peers. So as a result, there is such type of an atmosphere is more conducive to the development of critical and analytical skills on both on the part of students and teachers. Dialogic education, again, because there is open communication, mostly oral communication. As a result, there are chances of greater socialization, both on the part of students and teacher in a dialogic educational environment. Besides, dialogic education is important because it results in authentic learning, and also it helps in countering indoctrination because the students share their views, and so in a democratic environment, in an environment of dialogue, as a result, there are less chances of indoctrination or top-down, one-way transfer of facts or knowledge on the part of the teachers. So this helps both, one, in terms of a more authentic learning on the part of the students, and on the other hand, it helps in countering indoctrination. And lastly, dialogic education helps in enhance learner self-confidence because the learner has the opportunity to question. They can question the subject matter, they can question the teaching methodologies, they can question the stances of the teachers, and so they can question the way they are being treated. So as a result, they get opportunities to discuss their views, their perceptions, and their feelings in a more open and democratic environment. And this ultimately leads to more self-confidence on the part of the learner. So overall, we can say that dialogic education is extremely important as it makes the process of education more democratic. It opens the educational spaces for debate and dialogue between the students and teachers, and also between, among other stakeholders, including teachers, including the educational leadership or administration, and including social actors such as parents. So keeping in view this, besides this, it also leads to more authentic learning process, and it helps in the development of critical thinking skills, critical consciousness, and more involvement, active involvement, and ultimately it results in better productivity, cognitive, social, and emotional development of the students.